Aloha, my name is Mark Titus.
And I am Tate Frazier.
We are Titus and Tate. We are here, Maui Invitational Day 2. We are brought to you by Harris Cherokee Casino.
The best.
Before we get to the action today, Tate, we have to do a big picture look. We have to
Yes.
let the people at home watching get inside the
We
bubble
want to
with
bring
us.
you into the bubble, yes. Walk
Bring
in
them
with
in.
us.
We are
yes.
wearing the Hawaiian shirts.
Immerse
we
yourself.
are doing our best to carry the Aloha spirit from the Hawaiian Islands. We are 4,500 miles
This
away
is
from
for
Maui.
you, Big Wave Billy, every single day, just for you.
4,500 miles away from Maui. We
Yep.
brought it with us.
Mainland.
We did not bring the weather with us, Tate.
No.
It is very, very cold in Nashville, North Carolina. It is in the 20s. It was snowing today, so we made history right off the bat.
Yes.
I am confident. I was not around for a lot of the initial Maui Invitationals, but I'm pretty confident that this is the first time it's ever snowed in Maui Invitational history.
Yeah, we are 100% sure that in 100 years, people will be, at that Maui Invitational in Maui, and they will look back, just like the Rose Bowl that happened in 1940 during World War II. People look back and they say, oh, wow, that happened in Durham that year? We are in
There
Asheville
we
at
go.
the Maui Invitational.
Making
Historical
history.
moments, yes. It's good to be a part of.
Let's get to the actual
Feels
action.
like Michael Wilbon.
Yeah, let's get to the actual action today. The first game of the day, the Indiana Hoosiers, the Texas Longhorns. Indiana was a team that I had circled coming into this thing.
Favored in this game.
They were favored in this game.
Yep.
I had circled.
Thank you, Harris.
I had circled this team as my pick for the Maui Bump.
Yes,
I thought
yes.
Indiana. I'll be
You
honest.
made a pick with your heart, we should say
Yeah,
that.
I did.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
hometown pick.
thought Indiana was going to win this game. I thought Indiana was going to have a better showing than what they did. They go on to have. This is never a good sign, Tate. They went on to the tweets I saw, the data I saw put out there said this was the worst shooting performance by an Indiana basketball team in at least 10 years. And the reason that's notable, one, very bad shooting. Two,
Big Ten stat of the day.
they were doing the research, and whoever was doing the research was like, I just give up. I look back 10 years,
it's at least past 2009.
you
Yes.
figure it out from
Yep.
here, is what
Yep.
they said. It's been 10 years. I don't know. Point is, Indiana, you got to make shots to win in the Maui Invitational. We know this. They did not make shots tonight. Credit to Texas.
Yes.
Came out, punked Indiana from the opening tip. Looked like the older team. They are. Looked like the tougher team. They were. And that was the theme throughout the day.
Yeah, and Shaka Smart, we talked about him heading into the tournament. We joked, right? We said Shaka Smart, he has hair this year. What's going to happen with that? But what really happened was the makeover, right? We always have a coach or a player or someone in college basketball that does the full makeover. He goes full new hairdo. It's a new outlook on life, and it's a new outlook for Texas basketball because a lot of times with Texas basketball, you see the roster, right?
Yep.
They pass the airport test. Florida State,
Yep.
number one always in the airport test. Texas is always up there as well. But the basketball doesn't always translate unless they're playing North Carolina.
Explain to the people at home the airport test.
Yeah, the airport test is basically you're sitting in an airport, right? You're skimming through your book that you're reading at the time, and you peek your head up and you see a basketball team walking by, and you say, "My God, how do you stop those
That's got to be
guys?"
the greatest team
Yeah,
I've ever
yeah,
seen.
I mean,
You know
is that the
nothing
dream
about their
team?
skill, whatever,
Yes.
but you just watch them walk by you in an airport.
Yes.
And you say that has to be the
Yes.
greatest basketball team ever
Yeah,
assembled.
you see
And-
Malik Beasley, Kumaji, and all these
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
walk by Florida State. and
That's
you're like, that's
that's the
squad.
prototypical.
Yeah.
But this Texas team definitely passes the airport test. As
Yes.
it turns out, they passed the basketball test.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
They are a
Yes.
very good basketball team. Shaka Smart has turned into Samson Smart.
Yep.
His power
Yep.
is apparently derived from his hair.
Yes.
But Texas is playing great basketball. Texas, I think it's safe to say, the Maui Bump that I tried to give to IU has now been passed over to
Yes.
Texas. Texas just beat them down from the start. It was never really much of a game, and that's really all we have to say about the first game. So should we move on to the second game?
let's get to the
the
second
game you're
game.
more excited
Yes,
about.
of course.
Much better game. Zaire Williams, who you've fallen in love with, of Stanford,
Yes.
is the star of Stanford. Oscar da Silva. Stanford is
A good team.
Very
Yes.
good team. Yeah, they're showing the country that they can play basketball.
Yep.
But the Tar Heels came out victorious. Today.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, when you look at what was going into this game, you had the matchup of Zaire Williams, the number one talent prospect, whatever you want to call it, coming into this tournament. That
You're
people had
calling
to-
it. You're
Yeah,
calling
I'm
it.
calling it
Yeah.
right now. I'm saying that.
Because you're saying that with a lot of confidence. You're saying that like this is a consensus opinion.
Yes, but a lot of people would say
Yeah, okay.
Kate Cunningham, but I think, last year we had no number one picks, right? That's what all the pundits
Yeah,
told us.
yeah.
This year we may have 4 or 5. at
Very
the end of
deep
the day.
draft,
Yeah, a lot of people were excited. But regardless, going into this game, North Carolina had to figure that out. They also had to play great defense. To start this game, it wasn't going so great for Zaire Williams, but he gets hot for a little while. And then we had the introduction of a character that we love in college basketball, TV Teddy. He comes into play. He gets in Zaire Williams' head. Zaire Williams had his shirt untucked at one point. He says, "Kid, tuck in your tuxedo." And we think we say to ourselves right there, "Oh no, TV Teddy's onto the scent."
Yeah, Zaire Williams is a freshman. He's new to the college
Yes.
game. This is his second game he's ever played in.
And he's playing the Tar Heels, right? This is
He
a powerhouse
apparently,
program.
What I learned today is Zaire Williams did not watch a lot of college basketball before he got to college because if he did, he would not have been chummy with Ted Valentine.
He knew what
like
was
he
coming.
He would have known it was coming.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming. We saw Ted Valentine. Ted Valentine plays good cop, bad cop, where he plays both cops. That's the Ted Valentine move. So he was playing good cop in the first half.
He's joking.
He's joking around. He's like, "What's up, young buck? You're playing well out there. And how's the knee feeling? And all that kind of stuff." And he pulls you in.
We found out it was a biking
He's like, "Hey,
accident,
I'm your
nothing
friend."
serious.
And then Zaire Williams dunks, does a chin up. Do you think it was a good call? You're a Carolina fan.
No, I think it was a bad call because at the end of the day, it's safety first, right? We're all about player safety here, and when you're coming.
Well, that's what he did when he came down.
He wants to just land safely, so he's holding on to land safely. A lot of people may say it was showboating. It definitely wasn't. And also, I mean, to be honest, as a Carolina fan, I'm going to take my sunglasses off here, my Carolina bias, and say Stanford was going on a run right there. They would have had an 8-point lead.
It was a momentum killer.
It was a momentum killer. And then they get a free throw off the technical, and they get the ball back. So when that happened, it kind of changed things. So.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
To Zaire Williams, this
what
is not.
What a TV Teddy
It's not a retro. We're not looking back and saying
we are not Captain Hindsight here.
We're not Captain Hindsight because in the moment, Zaire Williams gets called for the tech. He immediately points to his leg.
Yes.
He's got this massive knee brace on. He's
From the
like,
biking accident that he just told TV Teddy about.
Ted, we just talked about this. I got a bum
He
leg,
knew
dude.
it.
Like I'm not trying to land on my leg funny.
My gosh.
Like what are you you're gonna kill me. So Carolina, Texas is the championship game we have tomorrow. The Tar Heel, Leaky Black came up big. I think Dayron Davis, a guy you like a lot.
Yes.
Stuff in the stat sheet. Did a classic like who's the guy in the NBA that like would do 5 of everything? Like a Rondo?
Yeah, sure.
Like he had like a Rondo stat line where he had like
Are you talking
seven
RJ Davis?
No.
Or Dayron Sharp?
Dayron Sharp's what I
Okay.
meant. I'm sorry. Yeah, Dayron Sharp. Dayron Sharp had like 7 points, 4 blocks, 2 steals.
However
4
many times you jump on the
rebounds, 4
floor, they don't count that, but he does that every time the ball's loose. He's the best.
I was thinking, I think I called him Dayron Davis because I was thinking of he was Dale Davis out there.
Well, then
I
you
just look out. Yeah, I just look out there. I'm like, is that Dale Davis reincarnated? Just doing everything.
Yeah, doing everything, and that's kind of the North Carolina team. They have all of this talent. They have all this defensive talent. Then in the end of the game, you mentioned Leaky Black. He was guarding Zaire Williams, and those guys are a good matchup. And Leaky had a good game, and then at the end of the game, he goes in for the easy layup, and basically the game-sealing layup. So congratulations, to Leaky Black.
Go. Let's wrap up the rest of the day.
Yep.
So we have
Davidson
Providence is game 3. Davidson.
Yet again in a close one.
I don't know what else.
So
like it's tough. You know what's interesting to me is we were playing this in North Carolina, as we've said many times. It's snowing here. We cannot stop talking about that.
It is freezing here.
But coming into the event, what was on my mind was is there going to be a home court advantage? Obviously, there's no fans here, but like how much will it matter that we're playing in a state where Davidson and the University of North Carolina are not flying here? They're kind of the local teams. Will it matter? And as it turns out, choose your own adventure with that narrative. Because North Carolina, if you look at North Carolina, they're 2-0. Maybe you say, "Wow, the only reason they're winning is because they're playing in their home state." You look at Davidson; they've lost 2 heartbreakers, and you say, "Well, obviously, it doesn't matter that much."
Or you say, if they had the crowd here, they would have won those games.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I would say as a Davidson fan.
Providence, good to get a win. We like this Providence team on paper coming into this thing.
They weren't great against Indiana, but they have a lot of potential.
Destroy them, and this is the interesting part of the Maui Invitational. I think college basketball as a whole, just the parity of it all. Davidson plays Texas close. Comes down, they get 2 shots in the first round yesterday. 2 shots at the buzzer to beat Texas. One of them falls. Texas is done. Texas is in the losers bracket. Davidson might be playing North Carolina tomorrow. Might be
which is what I predicted. In our Maui bracket special.
Does not happen. So you come away from that game. Maybe you're saying to yourself, Davidson, Texas, pretty evenly matched there. Indiana beats the snot out of Providence. So now we have Davidson versus Providence after we just saw Texas beat the snot out of Indiana.
Transitive property.
And you're doing transitive property. You're thinking Davidson's going to win this by 60. I mean, that's how my math checks out. Not so.
Not quite.
Not so.
Not
Providence gets a W. Finally, Alabama, another team that we had some expectations for. We were interested to see how they would come out, what they would look like. Alabama on paper stands out to you.
They have some talent, like Quinterly, a guy that transferred from Villanova. That
Herb
was a
Jones,
5-star
great defender.
Exactly. So they have pieces.
And Stanford kind of had their way with them, to be quite honest. And so same sort of thing with Providence for Alabama to get a win tonight. It is in the losers bracket. I'm not sure how much the rest of America cares, but certainly in that locker room, they're happy to get a win. So
yeah, and you could see it, the excitement there, and obviously Nate Oates is trying to build a program. We talked about the 5-stars that they have coming in the future. So you just need foundational wins. So if you even beat a program like UNLV, you pat yourself on the back and say, hey, we got a nice win in Maui.
So let's look to tomorrow. 4 games again, full slate. Every single one of these teams playing it again. But there's only one game with the trophy on the line. Only one team's going home with the Wayne Duke. Texas, North Carolina, the 2 teams coming in that, I was high on Indiana, but if we're being completely honest, I think Texas, North Carolina was the draw that everyone was.
Yes, they are the 2 ranked teams.
They're the 2 ranked teams. This is a little chalky so far. In fact, Little note about the Maui Invitational. In the winners bracket games, there's been 6 games. All 6 teams have been the visiting team that have sat on the far side bench from where we're sitting right here. So tomorrow, you're asking yourself, who's going to be the visiting team? For Game 7, who's going to keep it going?
North Carolina. I think that they are the visiting team. I think Roy Williams. They're not.
They're not.
They're not. Okay, well,
It's
Texas. Wow. Lock
A little
that
note
in.
for you. So,
Okay.
y'all you gamblers at home.
Oh, my gosh.
Something to think about.
How do we change this?
6
Who-
in a
who do I
row, the
reach out
visitors have
to?
won.
Who do I talk
Number
to?
7, we have that. Anything else before we go, Tate?
I think tomorrow is going to be a great game. Shaka Smart, he was sitting next to us scouting the North Carolina game, and he knew everyone on the team. He was like, I know RJ, I know Kessler. He was like naming them. He knew like fun facts about them.
Yeah.
So Texas is going to have North Carolina scouted pretty well.
Give us a matchup to watch.
A matchup to watch tomorrow is going to be Dayron Sharp going up against Greg Brown and Kai Lucas, who is coming off the bench. 2 big men for Texas that are very
I
athletic.
like Texas.
very
Change
long.
that. If they got 2 guys going against 1, that seems like numbers.
Yeah, that sounds like a double team to me, folks. Kick it out to the 3. Hopefully you make that shot, play tech. But yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. And Shaka Smart obviously has a reverence for North Carolina. He plays a similar break style with the way that he runs his transition and things like that. So it will be similar playing styles and hopefully a lot of points. We need
That
points.
is the interesting part of these 2 teams is you have 2 teams that are very reliant on the big men. But I mean, this is going to sound ridiculous, but it makes sense to me. Very reliant on the big men, but guards have to step up. Guards are also so in that way they're two complete teams.
Yeah.
They're 2 complete teams. Neither of these teams are relying on one guy to carry the load. Very balanced scoring. I think all 5 starters for Carolina scored in double figures today. So
and before that, the game before that, Texas had 6
Texas
guys.
had 6 guys
all
in double figures.
So very similar.
There
teams.
you have it. The 2 best teams here are going to be playing for the Wayne Duke tomorrow. North Carolina, speaking of Duke, the trophy, people forget, is named literally after Duke. You have North Carolina playing for it. The Duke Blue Devils have 5 titles in this event, most all time.
Yes.
North Carolina has
Yes.
4 titles.
Yes.
This is a big one,
Put
Tate.
5 on it, Carolina.
This is a big one
This
to
is
tie
the
it for the
time.
Tar Heels. So
Yes.
we'll see. Texas has never won it. So Texas, you can get your the Longhorn Hook'em logo up there on the
They have
banners
North
next year. We'll
Carolina's
see.
numbers, so Texas is favored tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
There you go. We'll
Here
be back tomorrow breaking it all down. Excited to see what happens. Thanks for joining us. See you then.